Welcome back. I am so tired. It's been it's been an interesting week. My blood sugars have been tremendous. I have literally been in range all day today. I'm going to show you because I'm very pleased with myself. We're going to pull this up. Look at this. All day, all day, all day. But it's taking a toll on me. I just want like an entire pizza. Or you know what sounds really good is bread pudding. When do I eat bread pudding? Never. I could really go for a bread pudding though. Or just a bowl of pasta. That would be good. But no, just tofu and broccoli again. I should probably think of a couple of other things to eat, but I don't know. It's so easy. And I have so much broccoli in my refrigerator right now. But I've been sleeping a ton. I was talking to a friend of mine who is also on a very restrictive diet for less stupid reasons than I am. And she was saying you get this thing called the keto flu, which is when you're just really tired and have a headache and when you go into ketosis. I don't know that I'm in ketosis. I mean, I think it's different if you're diabetic, if your body doesn't produce insulin. But that would explain how fucking terrible I feel right now. So, but yeah, boy, those numbers are good. So that's keeping me motivated. Yeah, it's really great. It's oh wow, if I just completely stop eating everything that brings me joy in life, then I can be very healthy. So there's a trade-off. There's a bit of a trade-off there. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else has happened. I've just been just keeping on. Yeah, I don't know. It's going okay. I'm just I just feel terrible. Hopefully that's supposed to when you have the keto flu or whatever, it's supposed to go away after a few days. They're just eat lots of salt and drink water. So I bought some pickles. I can't even tell you how many string cheeses I've had. It's disgusting. After I'm done with this, I'm never going to be able to look at string cheese again. There's probably a better way to do this than the way I'm doing it. And if I ever were to become pregnant, I would probably talk to a nutritionist instead of being I'm just gonna eat only broccoli and tofu for a month or 9 months. Oh my God, the idea of that is just, ugh, yikes. I don't know, adoption's looking better and better. This has been so interesting because I've also, every time I see a product and it's not suitable for pregnant women, I'm well, I can't use that product. And then I'm I'm not actually pregnant, thank God. So I don't need to be worried about that. But it's been very strange. One of the issues that I did run into is when I went to kickboxing, I disconnect from my pump because it's a $6,000 piece of medical equipment, and I don't want anyone to kick it or punch it because I don't have $6,000 to replace it. So it's probably still under warranty. It definitely is still under warranty, but regardless. And I spiked. I went up to 260. That was on Tuesday. So yesterday when I had class, I took a unit of insulin. I was at 98, and I was oh, this is probably not a very good idea. But I took a unit of insulin, and I felt fine. And at the end, I was at 135. So there you go. Just adapt and continue on. Again, probably won't be kickboxing when I'm pregnant, if I'm ever pregnant. So I don't know how like worried about that I have to be. Um, but that's like something I learned. Also, you have to think if you are pregnant that your insulin needs would change. That's something I didn't, I mean, it doesn't matter. Again, this is all, it's all purely hypothetical. I really do wonder though. I've been like craving things just as a consequence of the fact that like carbs are delicious. And I don't know how you do that when you're pregnant. I don't know how. How do you do this? Are you pregnant and diabetic? Have you been pregnant and diabetic? How the hell did you do this? Jesus. Amazing. You're amazing. All of you. Okay. There are two other points of business that I wanted to get to. One, my dear friend Julia asked, "What is the difference between type 1 diabetes and type 2 or earned diabetes?" Um, and also, shout out to my mom for accidentally answering that question. Thanks, Mom. My mom does not watch these videos all the way through. God bless. Um, yeah, so type 1 diabetes is basically when your pancreas is like, hey, I'm just going to stop now. And your body stops producing insulin. And so you have to give yourself insulin. So you're insulin dependent. You might also be insulin dependent as type 2 diabetic, but the difference is when you're type 2, your body is still producing insulin, but you become resistant to it. So you have to take medication in order to get your body to process carbs. So I've often wondered if you can eat so many carbs as a type 1 diabetic that you become also a type 2 diabetic. I don't know. I worried about that for a while. I was like, boy, I love carbs. I don't think that's going to happen though. I don't think it's going to happen. Although maybe when I go off this diet and just have a like fucking insane carb binge, I'm going to send my blood sugar up to like 700. Oh, this is just, there are going to be so many problems. Ugh, okay. Anyway, then this is a mess. Okay. The last thing is that I promised that I would tell you all the story of how I became diabetic. So settle in. I'm going to have a little sip of my sparkling water. When I was in college, my friends and I had an idea that we would go backpacking through Europe. We were 19. This was 10 years ago almost. Europe 08. I'll have to show you some pictures of Europe 08. It was a time. Went with, again, like two of my best friends in college. And we probably should not have been allowed to go on this trip. It was like among the worst experiences of my life, and not only because I became diabetic, but just because it was like very stressful. We didn't have any money. We were just eating. We ate a lot of white bread. Oh God. So we go to Europe. We leave on Thanksgiving, 2008. And we traveled. This was our insane itinerary. We went from Lisbon to Barcelona to Rome to Venice, back to Rome to Bern in Switzerland, and then we went to Amsterdam, and then we made a brief stop in Bruges, and then we went to Paris, and then we went back to Lisbon. We did that in 18 days. It was a lot of traveling. A lot of trains. Horrifying. Oh, some bad experiences on trains. Trenitalia, boy, let me tell you, never again. Never again. So like on this trip, when we like pretty early on, I was like, boy, I'm awfully thirsty. I was thirsty all the time, just like unbelievably thirsty. I was drinking a huge amount of water, and like the water tasted really weird to me. It was like it tasted like glue. It was gross. And like, but certain water tasted better to me than other water. And my friends were just making fun of me the whole time. And at one point we were in Amsterdam and we saw this store that sold only bottled water. And we went in and my friends were like, oh, Amanda needs fancy bottled water. Miss Wellesley, she's got to get her fancy water. So they felt like really bad about that in retrospect, but it was really funny. I had to pee like constantly all the time. That was really terrible. Um, yeah, it was just like miserable. I was like, this is the weirdest jet lag. I feel terrible. Um, and we just like were walking everywhere. When we were in Barcelona, we got out of the train station and we were like, oh, we'll just like walk to our hostel. And we saw a cab, and the cab driver was like, we were like, how do we walk there? And he's like, or how do we get there? And he's like, oh, are you taking a train or a cab? And we're like, we're walking. And he just laughed at us and drove away. Yeah, so that was probably not great. We walked a lot. Also, this wasn't you children. This was a time before cellular phones, not before cellular phones, before smartphones. Um, so we were just like completely out of communication with everyone. God, and it's so bad in retrospect. Oh my God. Um, yeah, so I just felt bad. I was peeing all the time. I was really thirsty. I felt like my vision was starting to go. I lost like a ton of weight. I was like, well, we're walking a lot. I don't know. And there was one point when we were in Bruges, in Belgium, eating Belgian waffles, and I was like, well, I hope I don't have diabetes. My friend diagnosed me correctly, as it turned out. I was like, I have got all these symptoms. And she's like, oh, it sounds like you have diabetes. And I was like, don't be ridiculous. But she was right. You win. You always do. So anyway, I got home after this trip and I was like, never again am I traveling with these two, which is, I've traveled with both of them extensively. Since then, it's been better since we've all gotten cell phones and have like a little bit more money. And yeah, I got home and I was like, oh, I still don't feel good, but like, I'll get used to, whatever's going on. And the day before my 20th birthday, I was like, Mom, we should go to the hospital. I feel terrible. And she was like, all right. So we go to the hospital and they tested my blood sugar and they were like, your blood sugar is too high for us to read. So I got to spend the night in the hospital. My 20th birthday, spent it in the hospital. The first person I saw on my 20th birthday was the phlebotomist, which is a treat, as I'm sure you can imagine. So, yeah, that's how I became diabetic. I don't know what triggered it. My mom thinks it's because I went to college in Minnesota and there was no sunlight. And so I wasn't getting any vitamin D. And so that's why I'm diabetic. I don't know what it was. I think it's, I don't know. I don't know. I'm being tested, but it's fine. It's okay. We're here. We're doing great. A1C was 6.3. It's probably going to be lower the next time. I'm, it's been great. I think, I don't know if I discussed this before, but the last time I did this, my time in Target was like 54%, and right now, 67%. It's gone up a ton. So I'm really pleased about that. I have to work on low blood sugars. I do have to mess around a little bit with my basals. I have not been above though. It's been really good. So yeah, I feel like that's enough. We don't need to keep doing this forever. Um, Feel free to uh, leave more questions, and I will try to address them. And hopefully, by the next time I make one of these videos, I won't feel like garbage anymore. Or I will have quit. Those are our two options basically at this point. I can't keep doing this for much longer or I'm going to go crazy. Sorry that this went on for so long, and thank you for watching. And yeah, remember to like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.